Hi, my name is Mark. I'm an elder in the church, and this is my story. So I grew up in the 60s and 70s in Connecticut in a great family. We went to a Roman Catholic church, and as a part of that, I was a Sunday school student. I gained, I think, a good knowledge of the Bible. Even as a teen, I had a thirst for more, but it was a bit difficult to get that in the church that we were in. So I started my career at a grocery store when I was 16. Along came a manager named John. So John was 19 years old, so he was quite old compared to us. And he took a great interest in a few of us and would frequentty give us tracts and tell us that, all these good things about his relationship with Jesus. And that terminology was different for us, definitely different for me. So I would continue asking questions, and we'd spend many hours talking about it. He invited us to Bible study at his house. That was a first. So I went to a Bible study, and we opened the Word, and we would talk about it. So that was very exciting in a lot of ways for me. And he continued to invest in us, and he would continue to say, "So, is this something that's you would be interested in doing, inviting Jesus into your heart?" And I'd always be like, yeah. But it was just not at the point. I went off to college, freshman year in Worcester, and out of the blue, John calls me up and he says, "Hey, I'm coming up to Worcester." I'm like, what is my old manager doing coming up to Worcester? But sure enough, he came up and he took me out to dinner, and we talked for a little bit, and we were in his car and we were talking about things. He's like, "Well, so, as Romans 3:23 says, we've all fallen short. We've all sinned. And the answer for that is Jesus. And if you confess with your lips that he's the Savior, you can be saved." So he said, "Is there anything, any reason why you wouldn't want to do that right now?" And I said, "No, there's none." So we prayed in his car. And that was kind of the beginning of my relationship with Jesus. From there, Fern and I met, my wife, we met in college, and we got married right out of college. But it took about 10 years before she got saved, and we ended up going to a great Bible preaching church. Until then, I would describe myself as, kind of a Lone Ranger Christian, which is just can do it on my own. I have a relationship with God. I can read my Bible once in a while, and I can be an advocate for saying don't do that. Being a part of a church family is a big deal, and that's what happened there. We got to be a part of a great church family, and from there, our kids started going to youth group, and that was really a fruitful time for us. So I got a phone call from somebody from a different church who said, "Hey, our church is going to be going to the Philippines on a missions trip, and I thought you and Fern and your family might be interested in going." And we thought, wow, we've been trying to go to the Philippines for 20 years. And maybe this is the way God wanted us to go there. We found out that the missions trip was going to, there's 7,100 islands in the Philippines. It was going to Bacolod. And it turns out that island is a 45-minute ferry ride from all of Fern's family in Iloilo. So it was pretty clear that for us that we're not only going to go on a missions trip for the church, but we're also going to go on a missions trip to see your family. We spread the gospel, or got the gospel out to thousands of people. One time in particular, which was a great experience, is we were asked, 4 or 5 of us were asked to go to a military campus and just do a morning service at 6 a.m. So we had our guy that ran a gas station. He decided we were going to let him preach, and our teenagers were going to lead worship a cappella in front of 1,000 people. So we did that, and it was just amazing. We asked people who wanted to commit their lives to Christ, And, over 100 people came up. So during that time, we were praying over people, and I looked down the line, and I could see my wife and my 2 daughters praying for these people who wanted to accept Christ. It was really one of the most amazing moments as a family that God gave us the privilege of having. Kind of in the middle of that, about the time I turned 40, I was approached to take a job in Virginia. Job was going good. Both sets of parents were in Connecticut. We were going to move to Southern Virginia, which is like halfway around the world. So it was, why should we do this? But we prayed as a family, and we watched God lead us step by step into that. And he kept impressing upon us that he said, I am sufficient. I'm sufficient for all this. I'm bigger than, the nice church that you're in, all the good stuff that's going on there, your good job, your parents nearby. You're all I need. And I think our whole family grabbed onto that. And we knew one thing. We needed to pray about it. Of all things, after everything we had seen, we knew that God was huge and could do amazing things in our lives. So it was clear that we should go, which was a great experience. So all of our kids got to go to Christian schools. We went on several more missions trips. It was just a very missions-minded church. So that was just a fabulous experience of growth for all of us. We'll have a lot of lifelong Christian friends from there. But moving back up here, we ended up having another job change that brought us up here. So we prayed about that. And we ended up moving to Quincy. And from there, we attended South Shore Baptist Church. I was put on a group. I volunteered for a group that did some church planting research because South Shore wanted to plant a church. So as part of that research, the pastor said, you need to go see this guy named Mike Feehan. He's planted a church over in Squantum, and he loves the Lord, and if just one person got saved, his whole ministry would be worth it. That's his attitude. That was kind of my reason to come find Squantum Christian Fellowship. From there, we really just come alongside Mike and Beth, and just view this as God's mission field for us. And of course, since then, the churches have merged, and yeah, it's been a privilege and an honor, and to be honest, it's been really fun to be an elder at Lighthouse Fellowship. It's a great church family. We're missions-minded. We've had opportunities to go to Nicaragua, Greece several times. And we're expectant and looking forward to doing even more.